Coming up today here on the Raiders Report, the top 10 offensive linemen. Clint Kubiak, John Spytek, Tom Brady, and the Las Vegas Raiders need to target in 2026 NFL free agency. I know that we have all been waiting for me to drop this video because I don't know how many times I've said it. I expect the Raiders to invest in the trenches. And if you don't invest in the trenches, shame on you, silver and black. Let's look at the Raiders' offensive line as it stands right now. There are a lot of question marks around this group. Sure, I believe in Colton Miller. I believe in JPJ. I know we have three players in Caleb Rogers, DJ Glaze, Charles Grant that we drafted in the third round. But at the end of the day, this organization needs to make it the utmost importance to not only go out and target players, sign players. The offensive line needs to be made a priority. And if you agree with that statement, I want you to hit that like button because I want to be very clear. If you plan on drafting Fernando Mendoza #1 overall, you better invest in your offensive line. You drafted an Ashton Genty. You drafted a Brock Bowers. If you want to get the most out of the last three players that you drafted in round one, you better invest in the big boys up front blocking them, because if you don't win in the trenches, it doesn't freaking matter. Now, I'm going to work my way from 10, and I'm going to go all the way down to #1. Obviously, #1 is the top guy I want the Raiders to go out and get. Coming in here at number 10, it's going to be Zion Johnson, the 26-year-old offensive guard who played this past season with the Los Angeles Chargers. There's a part of me that goes, well, he's about to hit his prime. And if you're the silver and black and you're able to bring in a really solid offensive line coach, I might make the argument that Zion Johnson deserves to be ranked a little bit higher on here. He did allow a career-low 3 sacks this past season, despite all of the offensive line injuries that the Chargers had. Like, I know the nation, when we saw the injuries happen during the regular season, you're like, oh, man, that kind of helps us out a little bit. But continuity, chemistry is so important for your starting five. And that was an offensive line that, man, they were moving, switching left and right. He's played the past 3 seasons at left guard. He also could play right guard, which he did as a rookie back in 2022. Here are his PFF grades. They're not outstanding. His best season was actually last year in 2024. But what I see here from a dude like Zion Johnson is somebody that's got some AFC West experience and somebody that I thought did an okay job despite all of the moving parts around him, which I do think you got to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt there. Let's go to number 9. This is my guy, Jermaine Eluemunor. And Jermaine, I would love to have you back here with the silver and black. And if you want to do another wing eating contest for charity, my man, you let me know. And I know this. He would love to come back to the Raiders where he was in 2021 to 2023. The Giants, they moved on from Carmen Brasillo. Maybe Jermaine could come back. Hell, convince former Raiders offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo to come back here to the silver and black. What I love about Jermaine, though, and he's like one of the most, I think, underappreciated offensive linemen in all the NFL. It's not going to be a gigantic contract that he gets, but he's somebody that's 31, 32. He's a great locker room guy. Everybody loves him. 62 games started the last 4 seasons, but he can play left tackle. He can play right tackle. He can play left guard. He can play right guard. So for an organization that's looking for questions or looking for answers because they got so many questions around Charles Grant, around Caleb Rogers, around is Jordan Meredith going to come back? What do I have in DJ Glaze? If you're trying to figure out those dudes, you could sign one player who could really help you be a veteran, be a leader, and help you plug and play if need be. Here are his numbers from last season. Again, he's trying to protect Russell Wilson, a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart. And let's not get it twisted. The New York Giants were one of the worst football teams in the NFL. But I actually was very impressed by Jermaine and his improvements that he made in the run game. I think the pass game numbers are a little bit lacking, but that's also because the Giants were losing every game and they had to drop back and chuck the rock, which makes life a lot more difficult on an offensive tackle. So I know that this question is going to be a big one, okay? This is the pinned comment. I do pin comments all the time on this show because it's like the #1 question that I want you to answer. This is like when I do this show, this is the question that I think of. So here's your opportunity. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. You let the ad play, I'm not going to lie, it helps Chugs and I and read out. So let that ad play, scroll on down, and if you could only sign one offensive lineman this offseason, who would it be? My answer is obviously #1 on this show. Let's go to number 8 here. It's going to be Alijah Vera-Tucker. And earlier this offseason, I did a video about some of the top free agents that I wanted the Raiders to go out and get, and Alijah Vera-Tucker made that show. He would not make my top 10 anymore, and I only say that because of the injuries. I do wonder, was the MetLife Field kind of one of the reasons why he missed so many games? Because it's notorious for injuries throughout the past few years in the league. Like, you can't deny the facts. And in 5 years, he's missed a lot of games. Now, he can play left guard. He can play right guard. And according to Spotrac, he's going to make somewhere in the $11 to $19 million per year range. I want to be clear. If you can get Alijah Vera-Tucker, who, again, is somebody that I liked a lot coming out of USC, if you can get him in that $11 million range, I'd actually probably rank him a little bit higher. If you're telling me we got to pay closer to that 19, I'm just simply not interested, because if you're going to spend that much money, you need to know that that's an offensive lineman that you can rely on. And in 2024, he was outstanding. 916 snaps, the 77.7 overall grade. If you're telling me I get that Alijah Vera-Tucker, I'm putting him probably number 3 on this video. But he's had a lot of injuries. Now, again, I would be willing to roll the dice here, because I do think that we have some extra depth that people don't really appreciate. And I don't blame people, because they're having a bad year. Glaze, Rodgers still on some unknowns there with Charles Grant. But are those guys having bad years, or was Brandon Carroll? Let's go to 7 here. Isaac Seumalo, offensive guard from the Pittsburgh Steelers. This has been a name that I know for a fact I have brought up multiple times. I'm from the 570. Shout out to anybody from Pennsylvania. And I got a lot of Eagles friends. I got a lot of Steelers friends that said, hey, I think Seumalo could be a player that the Raiders invest in. He has started 104 games in his career, 61 the last 4 seasons. Played left guard the last 3 seasons, but he can also play a little bit of the right guard. He is considered a smart player. 0 penalties last year, and also only 6 the last 3 seasons. If you're the Raiders, one of the key parts about Clint Kubiak's offense, it's the key to anybody's offense. You always got to try to move forward, right? Clint's offense is predicated on, how can I always have 3rd and short? How can I always have manageable downs to go to extend the drive to get that extra first down? When you have a zapping freaking penalty and you get backed up, it does. It really kills your mojo. But for Seumalo this past year, 770 snaps, solid job overall. Did a better job in pass blocking, but this is somebody that can step in, help your O-line, and help some of these younger guys get it going if you're not ready to have them start right away. Let's go to number 6 here on my list, Kevin Zeitler. If you're the Raiders and you're like, I want Caleb Rogers to develop another year, right? We always talk about bridge quarterbacks. But what if you wanted the bridge offensive lineman? Do you want a bridge O-lineman for Caleb Rogers? Do you want a bridge for a DJ Glaze? Well, if the answer to that is yes, I would consider bringing in Kevin Zeitler on a 1-year deal. He's going to be 36 years old in March. I get it. That's old for NFL standards. But NFL offensive linemen are being able to show and prove that they are able to play in their mid-30s, and they're able to do it at a high level. Since 2014, he hasn't played less than 15 games. That's really impressive. He's a great right guard option if you want some of those other guys to develop, and he's reliable in the run game. He is reliable in the pass game. So you bring in a Kevin Zeitler, you say, hey, you're going to be our starting right guard this season. And then why is that great? Because it allows a guy like Caleb Rogers, DJ Glaze, and some of these other players to learn, mature, and then be ready to rock and roll for the following season. Now, maybe you want to bring him back. I don't know. But what I do know is this. I think Zeitler is going to give you 15-plus games. I think he's going to give you 900-plus snaps. He's going to help out Fernando Mendoza. He's going to help out Ashton Genty. He's going to help out your young guys on the offensive line. Even if it is a 1-year rental, we as the Las Vegas Raiders, I get it, are doing a rebuild. But that doesn't mean that there's not value in having a great offensive line, even if somebody's only going to be around for 1 year. You cannot afford to have a bad O-line, even if that means you overspend on a dude that's 36 years old. Coming up next here on the show, my top 5 offensive lineman free agent targets for this organization. I hope that this organization watches this video, because last year I sat up here and I said, putting JPJ anywhere but center, dumb. Signing Alex Kappa to be your offensive line upgrade, dumb. I know this team like the back of my hand. I've been preaching from the rooftops why that this should have been an organization. I love Genty. I said I would have taken Armin Membu. Why? I believe in the trenches. I believe in investing in things that are smart. You know what else is a smart investment? Getting started with today's sponsor, PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. The big game, it's Sunday, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next season. So close the season outright with PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks, it's simple to play. If my dad can do it, I'm telling you this right now, a caveman could do it. Sorry, Dad. You could also do it too. You just pick 2 to 6 players, and if you win, you end up winning. My lineup for the big game, it's a power play. You can also do a flex play. You're not going to win as much if all of your picks end up hitting. But I figured, you know what? I'm all in on Clint. I'm all in on investing in the offensive line. I'm all in on the big game. So this is a $5 to pay $177.50. The special deal that's really important there, it's Drake May. If you plan on getting a lineup in, you have to go with May. 0.5 passing yards. If he don't get that, I'm worried that we had a Bane situation on the field. So go with the more, and go if you want with this lineup. You can give me a follow on PrizePicks. I'm at MitchellRens365. But billions paid out, available in all 50 states. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Let's go to number 5 here. My top 5 offensive lineman free agent targets in 2026. Joel Bitonio, offensive guard of the Cleveland Browns. And another guy, very old. You're going to hear me probably say some of the similar things that I just did about Zeitler. Same exact applies here for Bitonio. 35 years old in October. Hasn't played less than 15 games since 2016. Great left guard option if you want your younger guys to develop here a little bit. Reliable in the pass, reliable in the run game. Joel Bitonio and Kevin Zeitler are the 2 players that you add as like insurance, right? I got car insurance. I got renter's insurance. Insurance is something that you might not ever want to use, but damn it, it's good to have when you need it. And you might not want to sign Joel Bitonio, who's 35. You might not want to sign Kevin Zeitler, who's going to be 36 years old. But what you definitely don't want is a shitty offensive line when you draft Fernando Mendoza. So you know what? Go get me a little bit of insurance in Bitonio, who had a 75.7 pass blocking grade last season, according to PFF. And I know this, that Browns offense wasn't very good. There's not many offenses that I would say might have been worse than the silver and black. The Cleveland Browns might have been one of those teams. Let's go to number 4 here on my list, Connor McGovern. You're not going to see me talk about too many centers, and I only say that because I want JPJ to play center. However, though, if I could find an interior offensive lineman, like you want to hit a massive upgrade button on Jordan Meredith, click, it's Connor McGovern. Back-to-back solid seasons in Buffalo. 0 sacks allowed. I do think that he's a better center than he is an offensive guard. But if you're looking for a little bit more versatility, then you can bring him in. It's going to be a bigger contract at that $16.2 million. I actually don't know if he gets that much money. The other thing, though, about McGovern, he's got Kubiak ties. So if you want to insert an offensive lineman that might already understand a little bit what you're doing, which is extremely important at the center position. Like, I want to be clear. The reason why McGovern is ranked where he is, he has Kubiak experience, which is so important in that running game that I think that you're going to see implemented here by this organization. Last season with the Bills, had a nice overall grade according to PFF. The pass blocking is solid. The run blocking is solid. But if you put McGovern at center, you put JPJ on either side of him, left guard, right guard, it's up to you. I want to be clear. I want JPJ to play center. But if you can get the best 5 out there, then I think you got to try to get the best 5 out there. Coming up next here on the show, my top 3 linemen. And I'm telling y'all right now, if the Raiders sign 1, 2, they sign all 3 of these guys, I might just go full-on streaking through the quad, Mitchapalooza style. If you don't know that movie, go check it out. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. But if you're a real one, hit that subscribe button because I know real ones. And if you don't know what a real one is, you got to find out what one is by watching the show. But I know real ones know the importance of building an offensive line. I know people that watch this program all the time know just the importance of winning in the trenches. And if you're sick and tired of not seeing the Raiders prioritize their offensive line, I hope that you watch this show. I hope that you tell people about this show, because I'm telling y'all right now, I love talking about Mendoza. I love talking about Genti. I love talking about Max Crosby. I love talking about Brock Bowers. I love talking about all those guys. If you don't win in the trenches, doesn't matter. You're going to get your shit pushed in every single week. Let's go to number 3 here on my list. It's going to be David Edwards. I believe the top offensive guard on the open market for where the Raiders are currently at. He's not too old, but I think he's like right around this prime a little bit right now. Over 2,000 snaps the past 2 seasons at left guard, and he's only allowed 3 sacks. The Spotrac market value, it's a little bit scary at $19.9 million. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have over $100 million to spend in free agency. If you don't think that the Raiders can upgrade their offensive line this offseason, well, then you must not know how money works, because you have the money to be able to go out and do it. Hell, you have the money to not only upgrade one player, that you have the opportunity to upgrade multiple players on this line. Over 1,000 snaps last season, the 71.4 overall grade, but it's the fit in the offense. It's the age. You bring in Edwards, let's say you bring him in on a 3-year deal. Well, now that's going to be your starting offensive guard for the next 3 seasons. You put him with JPJ. You also have 2 more years with Colton Miller. I'm trying to find the guys that I know can get some chemistry going, because it's really difficult swapping in the big boys every single year. We also got to be able to get an offensive line coach that knows what the hell he's doing. Let's go to number 2 here on the list. It's going to be Braden Smith, the top right tackle, arguably the top offensive tackle in this year's class. But because we have Colton Miller on the left side, I really haven't looked all that much over on the left side. I've really only paid attention to the right side. And if you're not confident that Charles Grant can play over there, if you're not confident that DJ Glaze can play over there, you got to go out and you got to go get yourself a Braden Smith. He's got 105 starts under his belt since 2018. So you want experience. You know how important experience is for Kubiak, right? Spotrac market value at $13.5 million. It's a great, great deal right there. And the reason why I got Braden Smith above David Edwards, it's because of the money. And I think that you're able to sign a guy like Braden Smith, and then you're also able to go out there and upgrade your offensive line, because it's more important for your tackles to be solidified than your interior offensive line when drafting a rookie quarterback in Mendoza. And I know Braden Smith has done a better job in the pass blocking this past season. I also think that he's been a much better run blocker as well. There's been some unfortunate injuries for Indianapolis, especially at that quarterback position, which I do think really actually zapped that offensive line's grades when you look at PFF. But Braden Smith, you got to make sure your tackles are solidified with Fernando Mendoza. And, shocker, number 1 on my list, it's Tyler Linderbaum. Quite frankly, I think he's the number 1 free agent on the entire open market. I do. I think he's the number 1 guy. I've seen some people say, Mitch, I don't know if he's the perfect fit for us. I don't know how you look at a guy like Linderbaum and go, this guy's a mauler. This guy dominates in the running game. And if you were to put him next to JPJ, I think it would blow your freaking socks off how much this ground game, how much this running game gets it going. And you know what's probably really helpful for a young rookie quarterback? When your running back Ashton Genty's picking up 5 yards a clip. The Spotrac market value, that's going to be low. He's going to get over $20 million. You know why? He is without a doubt the top interior offensive lineman on the open market. And where this guy just beats the shit out of you, it's in the running game. And he does. When Linderbaum blocks, you can tell he's from Iowa. He reminds me so much of just a wrestler. JPJ used to be a wrestler in high school. And I don't know if anybody's ever been around wrestlers. I don't know if anybody's ever been around farmers. But growing up, my dad used to always say, you don't F with farmers. You don't F with wrestlers, because they're going to be able to do things to you that you don't know how to do to them. Tyler Linderbaum on the interior. That is my dream come true for the Las Vegas Raiders this offseason. So one more time here, if you want to take a screenshot, please do. Take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Twitter. If you believe that the Raiders need to invest in their offensive line, well, look no further than this Raiders Report video, because I believe in investing in the O-line. I also believe in having a hell of a time with Raider Nation, and I don't want you all to miss it. What's crazy is this event is today. Right here, Friday. We made it February 6th. The spots, you can't call anymore to reserve because we're already all booked up. But I was talking to the owner. They got a lot of space. They want us to fill it up. So even if they say, hey, we got no more spots, show up, show out, be ready to party with Raider Nation. We got prizes, we got games. If you're a diehard Raiders Report fan, if you bleed silver and black, I've never been out to San Jose, show me, show Chugs and the Chat Sports team how y'all get down.